the construction.
At what construction?
It's at the west end of 56.
Okay, this is gonna be at the
West end.
site then, at the, okay.
Okay. I guess I didn't know either.
I looked at the address that they gave us. Looks like it's
Good morning, everyone. I will, at this time, open the meeting of the DeKalb County Commissioners. Today's date, October 21st, 2024. Good morning, Dottie.
Good morning. I am going to yield part of my time for Judge Brown. So you can head on up to the microphone and push the button so that the blue light comes on.
That one? All right, very good. Well, thanks for getting us in on such short notice. With me is my court reporter, Kim Healy. The matter that brings us here, or the matters that bring us here, is her repository time and her PO time. We've had kind of a perfect storm up in Superior Court this year. I've got a relatively new assistant court reporter, and for 7 months I have labored along without a bailiff. The result of that is that Kim has had to pick up a lot of additional time and work that she's otherwise would have devoted to getting things done in the office. She's still trying to train my assistant court reporter. Has done a great job. She's come a long way. But again, there are things that Vina just does not yet understand and appreciate, and Kim has to walk her through that. And Kim has been doing basically all of the bailiff type stuff also. The result of that is Kim now has 3 days in repository that there's some good chance she is not going to be able to get used up before the end of the year. And she's got 35 days in PO time that she might not get, all of which would be used up before the year ends. So we're here principally to address the fact that if she can carry, she wants to be able to carry that 3 days in repository over. And with regard to the 35 days in PTO, it doesn't matter to her if you would rather she take that and she carry that over in the next year, that's fine. If it's council's position that she ought to be paid for that now rather than later, that's fine too. But most important, she just doesn't want to lose any of that time. She's been doing double duty up there for literally 7 months, and it would just not be right or fair to her. So that's what brings me here. If there are any specific questions, Kim can answer those. But Todd, you're looking at me like you have a question?
No, I'm listening.
Okay.
Yeah, is it 35 days of PTO?
Yes.
Still due for this year?
Yes.
November.
Yeah.
And then 3 days repository, which I understand as of December.
And Kim, what month is your seniority? Okay. So her PTO would renew in January. We're a senior, like a seniority to seniority. It's not just a January to December. So like my PTO, well, whatever, mine's June to June because I came in June.
It's
But-
on the anniversary date.
Yeah.
We switched that when we decided to go with a PTO system instead of the vacation and sick days and personal days. So.
Why not prorate PTO and order a higher date and make the calendar year? In other words, you hired in June and you said,
Well, what we do is on your 6-month anniversary, you get 5 days of PTO. And then on your 1-year anniversary, you get 10 days of PTO. So kind of we're doing it already. Yeah, you bet. So with her January anniversary date, she'll be getting a lump more of PTO in January, but she already has 35 days and the other 3 days of repository that would have, that she could have been using had there not been the perfect storm, as the judge said.
Honestly, there are times she just can't take the time off. I don't want to be difficult, but there are times I have to have her available for things I'm doing. So puts her in a bad spot.
All right, I see Susan provided us with 3 suggestions. You want to kind of go over those, Susan?
If I can remember. Okay, the repository time, the whole issue of carrying things over is the trackability. And when we have, is the trackability in our payroll system. So when we have all these little caveats, then we either have to have a million different tracking titles for a million different people. So the repository time ends at the end of the year, and that's 3 days. Now, it's up to you whether she gets them off or not, because that has to be approved. If he lets her have the day off and codes it as a regular day, then she's still going to get paid for it, if that makes sense. So kind of off the book situation, kind of. As for the other PTO, the regular PTO, 10 of the days can be carried over with our system. And then the other, it would be cleanest to pay the other days out, whatever she doesn't, I mean, she might use some between now and the end of the year. Yeah, so whatever is left, it would be cleanest to pay that out, because you can't just add it to the quantity that she has, because then it messes with the accrual of the system, which is the whole reason why we went this way, so we could actually utilize our system.
We also allow people to carry over into their next year 10 days of PTO.
Right, that's what I said. So we wouldn't pay out 10 of them, and then whatever out of 25 that she's not used, then that would be the amount that we would pay out between now and her anniversary date.
25 minus whatever she might use between now and the end of the year.
Yeah.
Part of the difficulty in planning for us, by way of example, we had a 4-day jury trial at the end of this month, just canceled a couple of days ago. And then I had one at the beginning of November. It just canceled. And again, Kim's got to be here for my jury trial. There's just no way around that, okay? But I still have, and this one looks like it's going to go based upon the activity the lawyers are showing in my queue right now, but it looks like a 4-day jury trial the 1st of December is going to go. So there are just things, Kim can't fill or plan to take those times off until the last minute when she finds out that something gets canceled. So right now, we have at least one 4-day jury trial early December. She can't leave during that time. She's got to be there.
If she can't work because you need her, or can't take the time off, if you were paid for your time off plus the time you work, that would be acceptable, right? So what I would suggest, and I don't understand why this isn't a problem, and maybe it's because I don't understand tax law. What I would like to do is say, hey, take off the time you want, or that you can, and whatever we have left, let's just write a check for that amount at the end of the year and wash the whole thing out and call it a bonus so you don't have to pay overtime on it.
I think that's good with the exception of the repository time, right? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Well, yeah, could we use the repository time first? And then that way that would clear that, and then just pay it out at the end of the year and say, here's your money. And I'd like to see it as not hourly though, because here's the problem with hourly. If you put in 8 hours and then we give you 8 hours pay that week on top of it, now it's time and a half.
I don't think so, not the way I understand
Okay.
the law. Yeah, all right.
PTO.
Time and a half is only for hours actually worked.
Okay, all right.
PTO is not
you don't
counted
count.
towards.
Okay, good. I just want to make sure that the government
It wouldn't
isn't
count as
double
overtime.
dipping us. But I'm just like, I'd be in favor of just paying it all out at the end of the year and being done with it, because if you can't keep it, or if it's not fair to you if you have time off and can't take it. So you should be paid for it. That's the benefit of working for
She
you.
has worked really hard this year she's worked really hard this year to
Yeah.
keep that boat floating. So I need to make certain she's free to go.
That's the way I'd like to see it, but
Good.
I'd like to hear.
Well, that's the cleanest way, I think, is pay her for whatever she doesn't use and write a huge thank you note for being so cooperative and helping the judge out, too. I hate to think what kind of shape you'd be in if she just wouldn't work.
Me too, Mike, me too. Yeah. She keeps things running up there like a well-oiled machine. She does a really good job for me.
Great.
I think that's the cleanest way, try to keep track of it off the books and use it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, that was only for the repository
oh,
time.
okay, all right.
Does this have to be approved by council?
Probably. Because it's a money thing, but,
Is this going to be beyond what's budgeted, basically?
I'll need to look into that part of it and see.
Okay.
Well, the thing is, though, they need to understand, we've promised her time off. She can't take it. It's
And
not
they
fair.
understand that it's,
So they're going to approve it.
I have to, yeah. I probably will have to do an additional appropriation, and I don't know, I haven't looked.
Right.
Well, I might not, because
Susan,
one of the employees has been gone,
I was going to
so.
say, Kim has been basically doing the bailiff's job for 7 months. That money's been sitting there
Right,
unused.
so
Can
we'll
that
be able to just
transferred?
transfer.
There you are.
That's beyond my
There's the money.
pay grade, so yeah.
Okay.
Bottom line is, in an ideal world, you wouldn't have to deal with any of this stuff, everything's smooth, but you can't run an organization with 300 employees without having things like this crop up. So I think this is by far the better way to handle it.
Well, and I'd like to see the policy change to where the time off can't be, if it can't be taken, it just gets paid out at the end of the year anyway. It doesn't make sense to carry over, because if they were so busy this year, how can,
Well, the carry over the 10, though,
Well,
but I think it needs to be a case-by-case situation. I don't think we can just write a blank check.
why not? They're do it.
I don't think so.
No,
Not
that's
It would be extra money that's not in the budget for one
fiscally,
thing.
you
I think.
can't do that. Fiscally, it wouldn't be,
It's got to be special, it's got to be circumstances beyond our control.
because it's on top of working.
Yeah.
I understand that, but they're working a day they would have had off. So,
And getting paid.
yes, they're getting paid for it,
They're
but
going to get paid double time.
Right, but when you
The monster.
budget, you budget for 26 paychecks, because they will take time off, so it's not budgeted extra.
get that, but that person is obviously doing a job but you need another person to do. You would be paying another person to fill in that job, so
Right.
what's the difference? In other words, someone has to fill the position that day, so if I have someone take a day off and I have to fill the position, I pay them for their day off and I pay the person that fills their
Not
position.
necessarily. We don't always replace,
I,
I don't believe.
Okay.
it's,
That's a,
Yeah, we
that's a
don't always
long
replace-
It's
conversation,
gonna-
I think, for
it's gonna
another
be a
day.
Yeah, I
case.
know, I didn't mean to open a
But,
can of
uh,
worms, but I just like to fix stuff
it is
real
gonna be a
quick.
case-by-case basis. Generally, this isn't the case.
Doesn't happen much?
No.
Okay.
So
All right.
anyway, I will make a motion that we go ahead and pay Kim for whatever remaining time she's not able to use by the end of the year.
Yeah, I've been there for 19 years. It's not happening.
Okay, I'll second that. But you're gonna, we're using the PTO first, though. We're gonna wash the
Yeah,
PTO.
Repository.
Or the repository, that's, I'm
She will
sorry.
use that first.
Wrong term.
Yeah.
And are we carrying over the 10?
Yes. Carry over the 10.
You're good with that, Kim?
Yeah.
Good.
So that makes the max at 25 that we'd be paying.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll second that.
Okay, and motion and second. Any additional comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carries.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Have a good day. Thank you.
Bye.
Appreciate you working hard.
Okay, Dottie.
All right. Well, we've been doing pretty well with our work comp claims. We still have, well, let's see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. As of the end of September, we have 6 open claims. 1 from Community Corrections, 4 from the Sheriff's Office, and 1 from the Highway Department. And we were able to close 2, 1 from the Sheriff's Office and 1 from Community Corrections at the end of September, so that's good. And I think we had, so far in October, we had 1? Yeah, so 2. Okay, yeah, 2. And so probably just record only, so those won't hit too hard, so that's good. For more details, the Safety Committee will be meeting on October the 31st, Halloween, at 8:30 in the formerly known as the Red Room of the basement of the 9th Street Annex. So if anyone is available to come, insurance trustees will be there, representatives from IPEP also, and then the usual Safety Committee group will be there, and we'll be discussing a lot more things, such as fire extinguisher training, and which I think will be really good. We will have the opportunity to do the training online, but then also hands-on out at the new highway facility. So we'll be dealing with more details then on October the 31st. Then for recruiting, let's see, the bailiff that they just talked about started on Friday. So that is good. So yeah, that was a long time coming, not having one in place. And, you know, I think Judge Brown made his case really clear about that. The confinement officers, that position closes, the ad closes this Friday, but we have had over 100 inquiries on Indeed alone. And so each of those inquiries gets an email back from, an automatic thing back from HR, along with an application packet and the instructions, you know, to send it back in. So we don't know how many have sent their application back to the sheriff's office, but we're hoping that some good ones came through. I know some people send them back to us. We forward them on to the jail commander for his review and then action on those. The prosecutor's office is still down one attorney. Not sure exactly where we're going to be with that. Did have an inquiry over the weekend, and that person provided all kinds of information, so that's forwarded on to Neil for his review and action. Then in anticipation of your discussion later, Morgan will have a report on the recruiting out at Sunny Meadows.
So this week, 2 people are supposed to start. So if they both start, then she will only have the bookkeeper open and the full-time second.
What was the second one?
The full-time second shift.
Oh.
One is supposed to start today, and the part-time first should start today, and then the weekend third should start on Friday.
Bookkeeper schedule and pay.
So I have it on Indeed for 8 to 4.
Oh, so daily, 5 days a week?
Yeah, 5 days a week. I think it could be a little more flexible since, I mean, Sunny Meadows is open 24/7. So if somebody wanted to work like 9 to 5.
What's the pay that we're offering on that?
Between 20 and 23.
Is a full-time position needed for a bookkeeper? I mean, is there that much?
I think
data?
out there, yes.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yes, it
Is
is.
it? Okay.
Yes.
Yes, the auditor's office says.
All right.
Yeah.
Because we've
definitely.
been doing it.
Yeah, I know you have. I didn't
And
know if
we're
it was
way behind on a million other
as
things.
busy as you are. I was just wondering if it was
Yeah, we-
15 hours a week or
Oh, no.
30 or whatever. Okay.
To do it right, it seems to be a lot of work. I've been somewhat familiar with this maybe earlier this year or last year, and there's just not a lot of good tracking.
Really?
So,
Okay.
yeah.
That's fine. I was just curious.
Because it takes enough time to log, they got to log the money in and a number of different things, I guess. Decide how much each person has to pay, that's a big part of it.
Okay.
So those
And
calculations have
talking
to
with
be done.
insurance companies and.
Yep. Okay,
And then tracking the funds that each resident out there is allowed to have. And, you know, right now, it's kind of a cash sort of,
It may be after a
Situation.
year that some of the hours might be reduced if they get some systems in place. I don't know, Susan, but,
So they're more than a
Doubt
it.
counter. They're doing other stuff than,
but they need to create a system out there probably.
okay.
right, yeah. There's going to be a lot of pre-planning, putting procedures, policies, protocols in place for quite some time, and working very closely with the auditor's office to make sure that all of that, regulatory things are done and done appropriately and well.
And the recorder's office helps organize all of their files. I had everything brought from the basement. They organized all of that, so we at least have a decent starting place to get things figured out.
Would the bookkeeper have done that job instead of the recorder if they
Yes.
were in place?
Yes.
Because that was 50-some hours of work,
Yep.
so. Okay. All right.
The only other thing we have is over at the surveyor's office, they have had a field inspector's position open, and it is still open. The last report we had is that there's another interview. They need to make a decision on that, so.
Full-time?
That's a full-time field inspector. Yes, they had one leave back in September, and so, yeah, replacing that one. So that's pretty much it for recruiting. Very positive note in prepping for the Affordable Care Act reporting that the county, as an employer, must do with the health plan. Morgan has a great start on the data entry and the basic information, and Lau, our payroll company, software company, has been pretty helpful when it comes to the ins and outs of the information that we need to capture. So that's been great. Anyway, so we feel confident that at this point in time, it's only October, that we have laid the groundwork for it, and we're moseying on with that because that has to go out the beginning of next year. So that's kind of the stuff we have going on.
Okay.
Anything
Anything for
else?
Dottie? Appreciated the article in the
From the Guardian, yeah.
about the hospital expenses.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah, that was, well, we kind of knew, but that really put
Right.
some more detail into
Yeah.
what's going on with healthcare expenses.
I know. And the fact that that's national news.
Yes.
That's the Guardian US as opposed to the Guardian UK. So it's, again, our healthcare system here in the state of Indiana is making national headlines.
Yeah. And that
So,
affects us.
yay.
in a big
I don't
way.
know if we're the customer of the week or that's a good thing or bad, but, hey, so we live in that land. So when we have, people who are a part of our health plan and they're complaining about the costs of things and, the co-pays that we have instituted with our self-insured plan, trying to keep those costs down for our employees. The problem is we're self-insured, so we are, as the county, are then paying, those bills thanks to, United Healthcare Surest. They have negotiated certain rates with, with the providers and hopefully trying to keep those costs down for us. So anyway, yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Dottie.
So you're welcome. Yeah, great.
Good day.
You guys too.
Okay. Let's jump right over and clean up payroll, get the people paid. Entertain a
Motion to
motion.
pay our folks?
I will second.
A motion is second on the floor. Additional comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Claims.
I reviewed the claims and make a motion to pay the claims.
I'll go ahead and second that one too.
Motion is second to approve claims. Comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes. Chance to check, read the minutes?
Yes?
I move to approve those.
Is there a second?
I will second.
I go say if you're not, I will. Okay. A motion is second to approve minutes. Comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed. Minutes are approved. Miscellaneous topics. Let's jump down to Menno Schmucker, access purchase. You want to step up and sign in, you Menno? Yes. You want to step up and sign in and tell us what you have? We'll get this cleaned up and then go on from there. an idea what you're asking for?
Go ahead.
Yes, I was just wondering, on the abandoned railroad between 47 and 49, I was looking to lease that or buy that from the state, and the state, I think I talked to Bill about this. They didn't accept it, and it still belongs to the county. What could I do to purchase that, just to get to my hunting property?
What this involves is an access across the old landfill. And I think the question needs to be answered, do we want to sell any of that? Can we sell any of that?
Is it over the actual area where landfill material or garbage, trash material was buried?
If it's through the old right-of-way, that was the railroad right-of-way, that, I understand now, we thought that was owned by the state, but evidently they never accepted it, according to what we're being told. That would be over garbage. If there was a access sold off the very north end of the property line, I would assume there would not be any garbage there because it tapers back down.
47 and what road, Bill? I'm sorry.
47?
And 49.
49.
47, 49, just north of, trying to think, south of 36, 34.
My initial thought on anything involving a landfill is the less you do with it, the better, number one. Number two, I don't know that we would ever want to, unless we had some sort of environmental approval and approval from the, because it's a closed-down landfill, right?
Yes.
So does DeKalb County have any current monitoring requirements? I know there are some for closed landfills in other areas, like up in Steuben County. I was aware of that through the Solid Waste Management District. Do we, I don't know that we do though, right? Like monitoring wells, things like that. I don't
think
recall
so.
there's anything like that. So,
There's no vent tubes out there or anything that I've seen.
all right. So, I mean, on the one hand, it sounds like, you know, what's the harm of allowing somebody access, but doing anything involving a landfill is risky from a legal standpoint.
Yeah.
That's my initial thought.
Is this south of US 6? I'm trying to find it on the
Yes.
map here.
South of 6.
Oh, where at, Bill, roughly? I'm just trying to, I'm a visual person. I
Probably
got
south of 34,
south of 34? Okay.
I believe. Does that sound right?
It does, I have a little view of it here.
So
If
south
I
of
understand
8
right,
then,
the landfill was never where the tracks were. The landfill was completely north of that. Is where they buried all the trash. The tracks was always been there, if I understand it right.
Find it?
47, 49, south of 34, okay. And there's a railroad track there?
Right away, an old right away.
Oh, okay.
But not the built-up track
Yep.
bed like you see in some places, you
No,
know, it's built-up
no.
track bed or something.
Obviously,
line, though.
and the landfill is humped over and it,
Yeah. I see the trail where it used to be, the tracks.
yeah.
So it's just north of Norris Chapel then? Yep, Republic Services Auburn Transfer Station, right? Is that what it was, that area there?
Yeah. National Serval is
Yeah.
there to the south end and the
Yeah.
west on the corner.
So we own the old railroad track right away there?
Right.
That's ours?
Right, according to what his research has found.
Okay, and we're not anticipating making a trail out of that like some of these old,
Very possible.
so we may make a trail out of it.
It's very possible. That would be the connection to Butler.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think they sold a chunk off the other side of that on 49.
Yeah, it shows, right, they did sell off some of that
Mm-hmm.
on the east side. I forget the name of the occupant over there, but it shows that was sold. Shows that on Beacon.
Which property is yours, Mr. Schumacher? Which property is yours?
It's Greg and Susan Walbridge. I've been hunting that for years, and I'm looking to buy that.
Okay. Is that,
It's just a hunting property.
is
and
that
I
that
just-
woods just north of the?
Yes.
Just north of the, where the railroad cuts through there? Mm-hmm. Okay.
It joins right up to the railroad.
Oh, yeah, right up to 49 there.
Yes.
Okay, what is that, about 15 acres maybe?
Do what now?
How many acres is that?
Probably 50, 40 acres. I don't
Oh, is
know.
it that many?
40 or
Okay.
50 acres, it could be.
Would you be buying the whole field too, including the woods?
Yes.
Okay.
I imagine if the trails are gonna go through there, whatever was sold off there, would probably try to buy back
Yeah.
so that it was connected.
What kind of access would you need? Like a truck or a four-wheeler or what?
I'd like to pull a pickup if I could down there, or a four-wheeler. I've been hunting that for quite a few years, and
Okay.
I always hate crossing other people's property to get to it.
Yeah.
And I see an opportunity, I was hoping I could get something to work out.
Yeah.
So how do you get to it now?
I was getting to it from the other side, but
East.
the homeowner over there, I guess he didn't like that, he bought that, so.
They cut him off on the east when they bought that right away.
So do you own the property south of the railroad tracks then?
No,
No.
Greg, they just own it on the north side.
Oh, okay. I see.
Greg and Susan Walbridge,
Oh, so you don't own anywhere near there now? You just use that to hunt?
right.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. All right.
So is their property, Greg and Susan's property, the one that you're interested in, is it landlocked somehow?
Yes, I think it's landlocked.
I mean, there's some sort of, it's a very detailed legal process and analysis, but there's a way to get,
Oh, I'm in the
or
wrong
to have
area.
an
I need to go
easement
over here.
established if you're landlocked. I mean,
There it is. It's this one
there are
here.
some exceptions to that, but.
I think there's gonna have to be a lot more research done with it.
There's the.
Yeah.
Because I believe it actually says the state of Indiana, not DeKalb County. And,
State owns the rack.
it's not going to be a quick
So he's trying to
transaction
buy
by any
this, and
means.
that would be landlocked.
Yeah.
That's.
Right.
Let's, for the sake of time, let's put this on hold and have Andrew research it a little bit more. I'm not sure we can even do this. I don't know we could, yeah, I'm just not sure where we can go with this. So let's table it, and I'll get back to you. We'll figure out something if we can. I'll get back with you and let you know what we've decided.
Yeah, it appears like you're a little if you buy that land, you're kind of landlocked in that area, aren't you? So you need access to it, is what you're saying, and
Who's that on the east side between the landfill and 47? Is that your relatives?
No, it's
That's-
dead in the center. He thought there was an easement, but he don't know where it was, and nobody else does either, to that property.
So it'd have to be the old railroad right-of-way. Is there any way to get all the way through?
is there any law that keeps you from buying a landlocked property, one that you don't have access to?
Yeah, there's some law on that. It has to be, I just looked up, or just read a recent case that came out on that. When you make a property landlocked, there's supposed to be access.
An easement
Yeah.
of some sort or
If
something?
somebody off the base tract is selling, property in the back or something that's landlocked, they're supposed to leave an access route.
The people that own it currently, are they landlocked? Do they own any property other than that field?
I don't think so.
So when they bought it, theoretically, there should have been a
Should have been an
way
agreement.
access to it already
Yeah.
established.
Because I always thought you couldn't transfer a property without access to it.
That's what I thought.
Because otherwise, how are you going to get there other than by
Have
helicopter?
you checked
drop
to
or
see if there's a recorded easement to that property already?
As far as,
The property you want to buy, there should be a easement already in place for someone to get to it.
I checked, I couldn't find any.
Really?
I can tell you where he thinks it might be.
Yeah, that doesn't help.
Yeah, I know.
But I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
let's go with that for now.
All right.
We'll get back
We'll
with
look
you,
into that
okay?
though. Yeah.
How could I find out if there is a right-of-way to that?
Yeah,
How could
We're
he
gonna
find
have
out?
to
if-
research it.
Does
Well, I
that,
mean, he can go to the recorder's office and search online.
so the recorder's office could maybe help him with that?
That's where if it's recorded.
I've tried that,
You did?
right over here.
No, recorder's on the first floor.
I can go down and look.
Go down there and show them the property you're looking at buying and say, I need to know if there's an easement available to this property because it's landlocked.
They're not gonna be able to answer that. They're gonna be able to have him look on the computer to look up records.
Well,
He'll have
that's what
to-
I'm saying,
He'll
yeah.
have to search it himself.
But they at least can direct him on,
Needs to
Yes.
find older deeds.
Yeah.
And one option, though it could cost a little bit of money, is that the title company can research.
do a title search.
Yeah, and then find out when that split happened and what the easement was at that time.
That's your best option because if you're gonna shell out some pretty good money to buy this, hire a title company, like, what's the name of a title?
Auburn
company?
Abstract's one.
Auburn Abstract, walk to Auburn Abstract, tell them your property you want to buy and have them do a title search on it, and it will show if there's an easement recorded already, and then you wouldn't have to mess with any of this. Probably cost you what, $300-400?
I wouldn't think any more than that, no.
Yeah. That's what I would do.
Okay, all right,
Thank you.
Yeah.
you bet. Mr. Parker, you are up.
You guys still want me to do a little research on that?
I would, just
Yeah.
to,
If you could, yes.
Yeah, about whether or not, I guess whether that's an issue allowing anybody to have an easement over.
yeah,
it.
I didn't think you could buy a property without some type of access, but. How you doing, Ben?
There might be a problem on the east side if they sold that access.
Yeah.
Could be. Ben, what you got?
I don't have a whole lot for you guys. I really ain't got
Well,
much
that's
anything.
good. We don't need a whole
Get
lot.
out of here.
Well, I am working on one thing. I'll just give you a little FYI on. I'm working with Casey's General Store there in Waterloo, as far as getting a fuel count set up there.
Oh,
That way we don't have to run back to Auburn to gas our trucks up.
Yeah.
It just don't make a lot of sense.
yeah. Sure.
So I'm working with them. I got to get with Leanne and I'm going to talk to Susan, but they've got a pretty good deal set up that's reasonable. And even a little bit of savings, 8 cents off per gallon for us fueling there. So sounds pretty decent. So I'm working on getting that set up just so we can fuel up locally there because most of the guys are always back to shop. It's just for our gas vehicles.
You said it's Casey's?
They can do 8 cents on gas?
Yep, that's what he said. And then for the first 90 days, they'll give us 23 cents off a gallon.
Wow.
And after that, 8 cents per gallon. That's if we pay our bill in full every month. And then every month we'll get that, we don't get it off at the pump like we do at BP, but we'll get it off on the bill if we pay it every 30 days.
Can you do that? Can you get a check to them within 30 days, or does that have to, I'd hate to lose that discount because we, you know what I'm saying?
If she knows about it,
If I know about it and as long as he submits it,
Okay.
Maybe you could negotiate with them 45 days to the 30. Because
Might,
you're gonna
yeah.
get paid, they're gonna get paid for
Right.
sure, because it's
Yeah.
county.
Right.
You just need a few extra days to make sure the auditor's not under pressure.
Yeah, get through the process.
so, I'm working on that with them, so I started that last week. Like I said, I gotta get with Susan and Leanne and
Great.
get some of the details as far as our paying and things, and so, just a little FYI. Other than that, we have our ribbon cutting today for Camera 56 at 12:30, which,
On the west end?
yes, sir, yep. I imagine we'll probably go out, it was shown on the map by 3:27, but we'll probably meet right there around the AEP lay down yard, I'm supposed, on the north side of 56.
what time did you say?
4:30.
12:30.
And then at 3 to 6, we have the highway open house. I've heard a lot of people's coming, so that'd be nice.
Is there?
It's gonna be a beautiful day, so
Yeah, man.
I know it's almost too nice day to be at work. But that's all right. So, other than that, I had Mr. Cruz get with me and asked to be put on the agenda about the Huron Lake letter of credit. So, I don't know what he's relayed to you guys or what you've seen in emails. Huron Lake's up for bankruptcy. I don't know a lot of details, where they're at, what chapter, any of that. But
I think they started as a Chapter 11 reorganization, and then something happened that the reorganization didn't fly, and it's switched to a Chapter 7 liquidation, is what I've heard, I think. And so the problem that you have is the letter of credit is not from Heron Lake, it's from Wayne Asphalt, whose attorney reached out to me and indicated Wayne Asphalt really hasn't gotten paid by Heron Lake Development for their work. There's a road put down, but it doesn't have a final top coat, and there's a couple of other, like a drain here or a curb here that needs to be replaced, is my understanding.
yeah, they asked about finishing that several years ago, and we did an inspection on it, and there's some areas of settling in the asphalt that was needed repaired. There's some areas in the curb that settled, some of the catch basins settled, and then the surface coat needed put on the addition.
And then I think the letter of credit was for the whole project, like the whole development? Or
No, just for that
Just for that
section.
little small road?
Yeah, yeah, that's why the letter of credit was, because it was for 10% of the construction cost to finish it.
So here's the problem. So the letter of credit was up for renewal, right? I think is the issue.
Yes, and I believe they renewed it.
Yes.
We
Okay.
just accepted it here.
Couple weeks.
Within the
A month ago.
Okay,
So
so
they
how
did-
long is that good for? Another 3 years?
Another year,
Another year?
yeah. I believe it's one every year. I don't have a copy of it with me, but Chris does.
Okay.
Chris is the man today.
March 25th.
Okay.
So back when that got established, we asked for a performance bond. This was back in, I'm trying to find my note, I printed off a whole bunch of stuff today. I sent my emails to Andrew, but I believe it was back in 2017 that it was back and forth between Stephen Brown and Jim McCanna and the county commissioners, that Jim McCanna was okay with accepting a letter of credit instead of a standard performance bond. So we accepted that. And then from that day on, it's always kind of been a revolving in and out. They filed for bankruptcy once before, but I think pulled out of it. The road never was finished. There's a lot of things kind of up in the air. That addition, when that was built, there's no winter maintenance due from the county highway, no snow or ice control. We wasn't going to maintain any of the right-of-ways, any of the roundabouts. That was all on the plat because they was going to have their association do it. I don't know what happens. That the letter of credit performance bond is typically put in place for if a developer defaults to protect the landowners that's bought out there. That way the county can go in and draw on that and finish that. In this case, there is landowners out there that's bought property, so we can't just, should not ask them to take it back and keep it at this point. But from, like I said, I've never had to go through this process, so this is a little bit new to me, and the letter of credit's a little bit new to me, so.
So it seems to me like what you would want to do is, if it looks like the developer is not going to do anything, and you want to make sure this doesn't, well, this apparently doesn't involve Heron Development directly, but depending on what we do with this, I suppose it could have some ramifications in the bankruptcy case, but Heron's not directly involved in this letter of credit. From what I can see, it's Wayne Asphalt and Construction Company. My concern is if you don't call the letter of credit now, when are you going to do it? And you don't want to wait until May 25th, 2025, close the banking business, because that's the end date of this particular letter of credit.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
A letter of credit between the developer or between Wayne Asphalt?
Between Wayne Asphalt or the county.
Wayne.
Or the
Yes,
county?
Wayne, for the county.
So, but the developer was going to pay Wayne Asphalt to finish this road, right, initially?
Wayne has a contract with the developer, had.
And the developer obviously is not paying Wayne, but Wayne's now on the hook to finish the road even though they're not getting paid.
Wayne was originally an investor in that development.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
That's why they were willing to do this. I
that
was like,
changes-
why did the asphalt company agree to indemnify basically the whole
There was-
development?
That was my question. I didn't understand why they would.
They
go
used
under
to
it.
have a big board out there, the original people that was investors in that, and there was quite a few of them in there.
That makes sense then, is that I kind of wondered why Wayne Asphalt, but when you said that, that makes sense. They were, so people, yeah, they were, if a business was going to join in and be an investor, then they were maybe willing to put their
His
neck out a
name was
little
on the
bit.
investor board. He did all the work out there as far as payments or anything to him. I have no idea.
Because
how all
normally
that
it would be
happened.
Heron Development on the hook and not Wayne Asphalt.
That's why I'm saying, it sounds to me like Wayne Asphalt needs to complete their road that they agreed to.
Right.
And it may
Right.
state that if I read all these emails, I've got a whole bunch of stuff on here on Lake when that come about. I'm sure it's probably in here. I would imagine if we was to approach Wayne Asphalt, they're a successful company. They're not gonna want us to draw their letter of credit. I imagine they're probably gonna come in and finish it.
There's a Mr. Mustard that has been reaching out to me, and I said you guys would be discussing it at the county commissioner meeting, so I just need to reach out to him kind of with what your thoughts are on this.
Well, I think if they could just, if we could get them to just go ahead and finish the road, it's better than trying to call the letter of credit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there needs to be a solid agreement, though, that they'll finish the road, and if they do not finish the road, we will exercise the letter of credit attachment.
And that's a little bit what the emails we had between Chris and I and Andrew, and Andrew and an attorney, but we needed to bring it before you guys to
Yeah.
make sure that we was heading the right direction, and you guys agreed, and
Because it's really to the county commissioners on behalf of the county that this is what the letter of credit's for, so.
You're wanting,
We've got to make sure.
And then
Protect
after,
the residents.
yeah, sorry. Then afterward, you're going to have to get a maintenance bond
right.
for 3 years on that road.
Right.
And what I'm concerned about that brought this up was I don't want it to become an Opportunity Boulevard issue where the road's not done to county standards, obviously was never built to county standards, never accepted by the
Can't
county,
take it.
and now they want the county to help them pay for upgrading the road. And if they do follow through with the bankruptcy, I'm assuming that's going to take longer than May 25th. So, yeah, the direction from you guys is where we need to figure out of who to contact, when to contact them, and
So you're wanting the attorney, our attorney, to contact Wayne's attorney to see if they can come up with an agreement. Otherwise, you will call their line of credit.
Nicely said, of course, but yes.
I'm just getting the gist.
Well, now
Okay.
let me ask one more final question. Did we agree to take this road as a county if it was built to the standards after it was completed and signed off?
With the contingencies that they were still going to do the snow and ice removal and maintaining the right of ways, and
So we were just gonna,
we was going to own we was going to own the road and then maintain it as far as maintenance, as far as chip seal or crack fill. Or
no snow removal or anything like that.
So going forward, that's the other thing that's going to change. I don't know how that will work, because if that.
There's probably no
development,
association out
There's no
there.
association.
There isn't? No
Well,
association?
if they file bankruptcy, there is now, yes, but when they file bankruptcy, I don't know what will come of
They
it.
haven't turned over the association yet to the people then.
I doubt, because the developer runs the association, as I understand these things, until the development is done, and then they hand it off to the association. So I doubt that handoff has taken place, because not even the first phase of the development's done, right? Maybe
This
six
is the-
houses or something.
This is the first phase, yes.
Yeah,
They did submit for the second phase, and we went through review, but it never got
never went through the
finalized.
city plan.
Because see, this is also part of the ETJ, Auburn's extraterritorial jurisdiction. So this will have to be done to our standards and the city standards, which typically in ETJs, I go off all city standards, because it's just as equivalent as ours. Actually, a little bit more, as they require curb and gutter and sidewalks and street lightings in these additions. So we go off of them. So if Wayne does come in and finish this, they'll have to make sure that the city's involved, we're involved, it is to our specifications and good, or we won't accept it at that point either. We did have a similar thing prior me happen. Highlands Edition was one that was started, defaulted, residents lived out there, and that road got very bad.
Oh, yeah.
And we did actually go in and plow it, maintain, because there was abandoned citizens out there. It wasn't right. We did minimal maintenance as far as patching, but it got pretty bad. And then Henny, is that his name? Old mayor's brother bought it. Trying to think of his name. Anyway, he bought that addition. He went in and finished it.
Yeah.
And then we done the bond, and Brooks come in and redone the road, but it was several years it set without anything. So it is hard for the landowners. You know, there's a potential, a lot of things, I don't know what can happen out here on Lake. If the development defaults, they may do bankruptcy, they make sales, they could be forced to sell that pond and stuff off, then people could lose their access to that. And things, I'm not sure what, this can kind of get kind of ugly for people out there.
the ideal situation would be that a good developer would come in, buy it for a lower price, and then
And
develop
refinish
it out
it.
like the original plan. But there's no guarantee that that'll happen.
Right. So I guess we need to a little bit of direction of what you guys are okay to pursue with. I think my recommendation would be to have Andrew reach out to his attorney and let him know that the county wants that finished. And we either need something better than a letter of credit for 3 years. I would recommend maybe like a 3 years performance bond from him in case another developer wants to come in and finish it. The road's drivable, it's decent. But for us to accept it, it needs to be finished. And we could give him that option, or give him the option to finish it and then supply us with a 3-year maintenance bond, and then we will do only the maintenance of the road. And I would still stipulate that we don't do the rest of the maintenance that was in the plat, that we don't do the winter maintenance and things. That's up to you guys.
I agree with that.
Okay, we need,
That's a good recommendation. I think that's a good plan.
I'd make that as a motion.
I think it's a good idea to have an official motion.
Yeah, I'd make a motion that we have Andrew craft a letter asking them to complete the road to county standards with a 3-year maintenance bond.
Yeah, I'll second.
A motion and second on the floor.
Oh, just one comment. You said to county standards. Why don't we say county and/or city standards?
County and or city, yeah, okay.
Or both, basically.
Or both, actually, yeah. Good point, Andrew, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Additional comments?
And you said 3-year maintenance bond is part of that motion?
Yes, okay. For Ben's suggestion.
That's in our UDO, we require that.
Okay, we set? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carries. Good to have that
Okay.
part of it done
That's-
behind us anyway.
That's the bad thing with these developments. I mean, sometimes you don't know. But that's why the bonds and things are in place.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was sold as a 120-acre all-sports lake with 2 marinas and wineries. I thought, flew over it and went, that's a pond.
That was pie in the sky.
Yeah, I feel bad for those folks. They need the road right.
They spend a lot of money, invested a lot out there.
What you got, Ben?
That's all I have for you guys today.
Okay, we'll see you later.
Okay. Yeah, that's, the shop needed a new phone cord. It was in my box up there. You guys have anything else for me?
No. No, God.
We're good. See you at 12:30.
Yep, I'll be
12:30.
there. Okay.
Hey,
All right, thanks a lot,
And
guys.
3.
At you then. Okay, opioid committee appointment. We've got a letter of recommendation. You see that letter? Michael Lapham.
yeah, from Judge Squiller.
Lapham.
I don't think there's probably anybody else in the county that understands what's needed out of that, best practices or best ways to
Do
to
that.
fund things anyway. So I would make a motion that we appoint Michael Lapham to the opioid settlement committee per Judge Squiller's recommendation.
Makes sense to me. I'll second.
A motion and second, additional comments?
Is that committee, it's an unpaid committee?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
They didn't want it to be like a,
Yeah.
plan commission thing or something. Okay. Then I'm okay
Any
with it.
additional questions, comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, FY '25 Change Academy, discretionary grant approval.
So Change Academy is able to receive a little bit more extra money for $8,868. And Michelle kindly explained it on her letter for me since we were short time today. So she's just needing your motion and approval to be able to submit this grant to try to receive the rest of these.
And that's from the state, correct?
Yeah.
I'd make a motion to allow submission of the grant. Corrections.
I will second.
A motion and second on the floor, comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carries. One more thing then on the Change Academy. I said I read a memo that they're going to lose their space.
Yep.
What's the options?
Well,
I have an idea, but it's probably,
but Michelle has got a committee put together, a search committee put together. They're looking at different
different.
places and so forth.
About county home.
So,
Go upstairs,
they'll,
I believe. I'm not sure, but yeah. Well,
I'm not sure if the
there's,
mix of
you
the residents and the students
can't,
would,
that'll never fly. You can't
Even
mix
do
those
that.
populations.
I'd be worried from a liability standpoint. I don't know, yeah, like mixing the populations. And then I'm not sure if it's handicap accessible up to the second floor.
What's the?
So I don't know that you could do that with students anyway, without having ADA for the second floor.
What's the current rent? Is it $2,300 or $400 a month or something?
1,500.
Was it 1,500?
Yeah, they got a heck of a deal for that.
How many square feet was that?
But no, Michelle has, I wasn't able to attend the first committee meeting, but Michelle's got a list of all that information and what their requirements are.
How often do they meet?
Okay,
Yeah, it changes
Every
daily?
day.
So
Every
it's a
day.
daily?
Yeah, it's
5 days
Yeah.
a week.
Okay. All year or summer's off?
summer's off, I believe.
Yeah, it'd be during the
So
school
it's just
year.
like school then?
Yeah, school.
Okay. Yeah, 1,500's not a bad deal for that. I have a hard time finding that. I
That's
think.
half of market value. probably.
Yeah. Boy.
Anyway, like I said, Michelle Fosdaw's got a committee looking at that,
Yeah.
so I'm sure when they get some things narrowed down, she'll bring it to the board
Right,
here
right. Okay,
How long do we have until they're evicted?
July of next year.
July? Because they're in the old, Mr. Lay's old building, or his building
Right.
on North Street,
Yes.
right?
Yeah,
Right.
the Y bought that.
Yeah, the Y bought that, okay, yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah, it's July of '25.
okay. Let's jump over to kind of sleeper. You are up.
This is a mess.
I printed you all packets because
see that.
it was very hard to email it to everybody, so I just printed it all that way. When Jace is talking, you can follow through.
I did look at most of that. I have been by the property, by the way, some time back, actually. It's worse.
Jace,
Your mic on?
Jace, push in the middle
Yeah, there you go.
and pull it up to you.
A little light.
Yeah, and
There.
if, are we treating this as as a full hearing? Like, do we, putting witnesses under oath and that sort of thing?
No, it's just.
For a record?
No,
Or this
our
is-
ordinance
okay.
doesn't require that.
Okay, all right.
In fact, it doesn't even technically require the commissioners to make this approval, but
Okay.
we do bring these before you after.
I just wanted to make sure we didn't
yeah.
need to swear Jason.
No,
off
no,
and
no,
all
no,
that
no,
stuff.
no, no, no. Jace is the code of compliance.
Well, yeah, no, I know.
Oh, you knew?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Okay, no,
Yeah.
no, no. This is.
But in
we're
an
not-
actual hearing on a compliance issue, you have to swear people under oath,
No.
have evidence and that sort of thing.
I don't, I mean, we've got two attorneys in the room, so I don't know. I'm a little nervous now. But no, he's gone through the process of sending letters, requesting property to get cleaned up. This is his first one, so I'll help him out a little bit. But he's got the report in there of when he's been out to the property, when he's posted letters, mailed letters, and there's just been no activity on the property. And you can see in the photos what's going on. Jace can explain. I've not been out to the property either, but you can see on there what the property looks like. And you've had this since when?
February
February of
Yeah, when I
13th.
started.
Okay.
Yeah.
Of this year.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's worse now. I could hardly get to the front door.
Have you spoke to anyone on the property?
Yes. To a Tommy. He was a nephew of Nancy,
Okay.
and he said that he was going to get it cleaned up, and
Is Nancy
Nancy is the
incarcerated
owner.
or alive?
She is alive, and she has cancer.
Okay.
So it's,
So that's could be why.
yeah.
Did anyone contact you when you posted the letter on Wednesday or Thursday
No.
about
No.
coming here? Okay.
None of them.
So basically, the commissioners could, well, informally approve a motion to take this to court to get a court order to have them clean it up. If they don't, I don't know if the county could, the court order could technically, I think, allow the county to go and clean it up as well. We've got an unsafe building fund that I think has like maybe $6,000 in it. It's not a lot.
That might take a lot of money to get rid of.
Everything that's in there, yeah,
Controls
yeah.
and-
But,
Would it be like, did the county do that on Lawhead before I?
Not
That was a
for-
BZA.
that was a
The BZA
plan
suit,
commission
or
issue.
Plan commission.
Yeah.
Okay.
The commissioners did, what's the Garrett? guy?
Thrush.
Thrush.
Thrush. Did
Todd
Thrush.
We did Todd
Okay.
Thrush.
That was similar.
And that was mostly because there was a little bit left, and that's a whole other issue
Right.
now going on. But it is difficult to get the money. The problem is with Todd Thrush, he was incarcerated, out of jail, back in incarceration. I think he's out of jail now, but we still haven't collected the $7,900 that we've paid in court costs and fees. We're actually doing a contempt motion or something, whatever
Yeah, we've
Rachel
got
sent me.
something,
Yeah,
I
for that
think.
property, but, so, I don't want to promise you we're going to get the money back and the property is going to get cleaned up by the property owners. It's kind of one of those things that if you get a court order, hopefully the court order can state that they need to have it cleaned up within a certain number of days. If they don't, maybe the county can go in and clean it up.
And sometimes there's hardships along, like with someone getting sick, like with the Lawhead case that I think my dad started and then I took over. The original person was an elderly lady that was blind and then she died. Her son took it over. He got cancer. He died. It just can be a perfect storm.
Problem is, this just didn't happen.
No.
Yep.
They've been warned.
Yeah.
I think,
I think we have to.
because if I'm a neighbor here, I'm mad,
Yeah,
you know?
sure.
This needs to end.
And I just got a call last week from a neighbor that complained about it.
And rightly so.
Yeah.
Oh, about this property?
Yes.
Bill, about this, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I got a complaint on it.
Yeah.
Another complaint.
So can we do just a motion to take this to the court level? And
Yeah.
That's what we've done in the past.
Yeah, I think so.
that's what I'd like to do. We can talk about how awful it is, or we can act, tell the courts.
Yeah.
And it may cost the county money, and then we might never get paid, but can we lien the property if we do?
Well, yeah, you put a tax lien on it.
Put a tax lien on it?
Well, actually, if you get a judgment like we did on Thrush, I think the judgment against him is technically a lien on the property in case it
Perfect.
gets sold.
Yeah.
Because it's a judgment lien for at least the first 10 years.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
I'd make a motion that we turn this over to the courts for enforcement.
I'll second.
A motion and a second, or comments, additional comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Andrew, we'll get in touch with
for-
Rachel about
Working on it.
making a meeting, getting a meeting set up with you.
Have a couple more
Yeah.
coming.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll put a file on it.
Thank you. Thank you for working on it. Good job. Yeah, I know. You're good at it.
More comment. Oh, I do, I'm sorry. Oh, no. Did you, yeah, we're good. I wasn't sure that one made it around to you.
Good.
I was watching.
Okay. We've got one more thing on the list, memorial bench on the courthouse lawn. Trying to find the lady's name.
I think I have.
Got it.
Ann Nichols.
And Nichols, yeah.
I read that.
You read that?
Yeah, did she say she could maybe come up with one and one into others? Maybe we could put a fund together or something to.
Yeah, that's what she's, how many benches do we have out there now? It's to replace those, I would assume.
4?
I don't think there's one on the
No,
side.
but didn't we just do those not too long ago?
No.
No. What did we,
Those are a wood
well, we have
slat.
a courthouse, we have a bench donation fund.
Do we?
I mean, I don't think there's anything in it, but we have but we had
Big
it,
funds.
we had it
Shadow fund.
for a project, like, because people donated and then we spent
Oh.
it on whatever we did.
They have an account for that.
So at least that part would be easy. We don't have to create anything.
There's no bench on the southeast corner, I don't believe.
There's 2 out front here.
Out here, and there's one over here on the corner by the walk, where we come up. Anyway, I guess the question is before us, to allow this, I don't know why we wouldn't if she wants to do that. The question is, do we want to duplicate or move forward trying to duplicate that bench with additional benches and maybe even add some benches? I think we could use more benches around the courthouse, but that's a decision to be made whether we do that or not.
Question is, do we make them uniform looking? Or
Yeah, that would be.
build them out
that-
of concrete even or something? I don't know, something long
That would
lasting
be,
or.
she's going to get with her siblings and come up with some photos and specifications and of what they might like to do. I did look a little bit online at some different benches.
And maybe we need to see if she's replacing or if she was wanting to add. Do you guys remember when Judy Watson worked in the clerk's office?
I remember when she worked there, but
Okay, well, however many years ago, she was the one that was responsible for this whole bench thing. So I'm wondering if they just replaced the wood material on those benches, the current benches.
what we should do is on the way out, take a look at the benches and see what we think, if they should be rebuilt and the new benches matched, or if we should maybe do a uniform construction and add a
Right.
total of 6 or 7 or 8.
Let's do that. Let's do a little walk around afterwards and
Yeah,
then go from there with this. In the meantime, she'll get me some suggestions, and I can bring that in and take a look at that, see what we think. If it's going to be a memorial, is it going to have to be someplace for a plaque on that bench?
yeah,
I hope it's different material than wood.
right.
Yeah, they would be,
Because, I mean, yeah, we redid the wood, but I mean, it looks bad again.
Synthetic material would be good.
you can get powder
Get
coated
like,
steel on this.
Not mold, but,
That green stuff?
yeah.
Yeah, whatever that is.
You get-
Yeah, that.
Somebody looked at it, I kind of liked it was powder coated aluminum.
Oh, yeah,
It
absolutely.
would last forever.
Oh, that'd be wonderful if you,
So something we can research and
yeah.
bring forth, make a decision on that.
That's nice of her to offer, and I think we need to take her up on it.
Yeah. Okay. What else we got? Open for discussion.
The
Anybody
only
have
thing,
anything?
I have one thing,
What you got?
did you see my email about
I sent an email.
energy guy?
Yep.
Okay,
I will email back yet today.
Okay.
Response.
thank you.
Anything else?
Can I have that email I gave you? Thank you. You guys like to keep all my stuff.
Sure.
I got one little thing. I know that council's not willing to stipend Ben for his work at the highway, but I'd like to point out, and that's fine, that's their decision, I get it. But I'd like to point out that he not only has been there on Saturday and Sundays working on his own time, he has saved us somewhere, it's in the tens of thousands, if not maybe in the hundreds of thousands, by catching these problems. That tank alone was a big catch. All the money he's gotten us for these used vehicles, I don't think, I'm in the business, and I don't think I could have got as much as he did on that government auction site. So they're not willing to give the money. Susan, is it possible, can I divert my pay for December to Ben? Is that a possibility? Is that something that could be transferred, or is that? I'd like to help him.
Absolutely no idea.
He's made my job easy, and I'm not asking you guys to do anything. This is for me. I think that he's made my job easy, and I think he is a huge asset to this county. I think by not compensating him somehow, we're missing the boat on this one.
Let me ask you this, is the last I saw in the minutes or whatever, that council was still open to more discussion on it if we brought more information. And is that still the case? Because I was disappointed in that a lot of what Ben did is not part of his job description.
That's just it.
Being a construction manager and a contractor and running that project out there is not in his job description. It's got nothing to do with building roads and managing his people and so forth. So, I think that was maybe some just misinterpretation on council's part of what he actually.
It probably would be best if the three of you, one of you, somebody of you,
Yeah.
actually come to the council meeting to talk to
Bill
them.
did.
Yeah.
That
I
was
didn't make
just
that
budget
last-
presentations.
I didn't make the last.
Oh,
one.
okay.
And so there was nobody
Yeah,
here.
I didn't make it either.
Yeah. Maybe,
But maybe,
there'd be at least one of us.
Okay. Well, another thing, he does a lot of engineering work. Other counties have engineers that they pay in well over 6 figures. Ben does that. He writes these grants,
Yeah.
saving us a lot of money. I just think that, and I'm not saying this is every year, but I think he's went above and beyond this year, way above, like Mike said, his job description. And I just think it'd be a real amiss not to throw him a bone, so, and if they won't, I will. That's what I'm saying.
Well,
So,
and on top of that, you know, I was with Ben to almost every meeting that we had and project meetings and design meetings. So I know that the extra time, and I've been out there almost every week at some point, and I know the time that he put in, the Saturdays even, and the work they did, personal work that he did.
Days off and
Yeah,
everything
days
else.
off. And I'm going to, if council doesn't approve this, I'm going to join Todd and give Ben my stipend for a full year. My stipend, excuse me.
you can give him a striping too, that's
Give him
fine.
a stipend, my stipend for the next year.
50 lashes.
Whether it goes to payroll or whether I do it out of pocket. He's going to get it.
I'd just like to know if it could be done.
That's the message.
If you give it to him out of pocket, he doesn't have to pay taxes on it.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah, no, I think that's appropriate. I'd be willing to pitch in.
okay. Great, well, thank you.
Okay.
And I don't expect anyone else to. I'm just saying that I think he's really helped us as commissioners. He's made our job easy.
I was on that same track before you mentioned it, actually.
Okay, all right, well, thank you.
Well, he's not only helped us, he's helped the county.
Yeah,
Too.
yeah,
I mean, the whole,
And we will be to the next council meeting for sure. Somebody will be there.
Okay.
If I have to come in a wheelchair, I'll be here.
Bill.
Okay, what else we got before we go on break?
That's all I had.
Anything? Anything from the public? Now's your chance. Speak up now or forever hold your peace. Well,
November 13th is the next council meeting.
November 15th.
November 13th?
Well, we're on highway, yeah, 13th.
13th?
It's a Wednesday, yeah.
At 9 o'clock or 8:30? Still 9 o'clock, I assume?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Okay,
While we're talking about highway department, I just wanted to mention too that FCI is covering all of our food expenses.
Oh, yeah, it was-
I did
And
see
so
that.
forth for the open house. I thought that was nice of them to do that.
Thanks for working on that. Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah,
Yeah, I thought that
appreciate
was
that,
nice.
Mike.
Yep, good job.
Yeah.
That was great.
All right, at this point, do we adjourn this meeting?
Yep.
Okay. Unless there's additional comments,
Nope, we'll start executive session at 10:15.
okay.
10:15.
And we are adjourned.
Be there.
Oh. I hope you get that